Hi, I'm Angie, and you're watching Dante's Vaccinated.
So the so-called pound-for-pound number one Saul Canelo Alvarez is in serious negotiations with and might actually fight this fighter from Japan next. And this fighter in particular is not on the top 10 pound-for-pound, and that's an understatement to say the least. And it's no other than Mayweather Canelo. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, no disrespect. However, I'm pretty sure every Canelo fan out there doesn't know how to pronounce his name either. And I'm also pretty sure that they don't know who this fighter is at all. So that being said, the million-dollar question is, how in the world the Canelo Alvarez fans gonna justify Canelo Alvarez big legacy fight with Mayweather Canelo? I mean, every chance they get, they complain about who Charlo fought, who Andre fought, even though they champions. Which that alone should be more than enough reason for Canelo Alvarez to step in the ring with him, because according to Canelo Alvarez himself, his dream that he wants to become a reality and that he wants to make a reality is to become undisputed at 160. And these two fighters stopped his dream from coming to a fruition. However, they question the Charlos of the world that knocked out J-Rock Williams. They question Andre that dominated Selewski. They question these two fighters that's on the pound-for-pound top 10 in the world today, according to new media. But I don't see none of them questioning Mayweather Canelo, or at least I'm looking forward to see the Canelo Alvarez fans that got the cojones to stand up for what's right, because y'all deserve better. We deserve better. We deserve to see Canelo Alvarez step up and fight fighters on his level. So I'm fighting for y'all Canelo Alvarez fans that don't want to fight for yourself. So y'all could thank me later. Y'all could thank y'all aquí, y'all amigo, however you say it in Filipino later or now, by subscribing below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't and listen to these casual fans / old media. However, new media in the house. Shout out to the GOAT DBN for giving me the opportunity to post on his platform. He is truly appreciated. Dante also started the new media. He the innovator of that. So if you know, you know. And if you didn't know, you better ask somebody. So make sure y'all click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post or go live on DBN. And obviously, if you're feeling generous today and you want to show support to the Aki as well, then the link to my channel will be in the description box below. So let's talk about the business at hand. It's sad to say, however, Canelo Alvarez fans is waiting for Canelo to pull off a miracle and save the day and fight a Charlo or an Andre, because we all know the recipe of Canelo Alvarez. He fights a good fighter every blue moon. He might not face Charlo and Andre in 2020, but he might face them in 2025 when they invent a car that could fly. So since the Canelo Alvarez fans want to compare Canelo Alvarez to Floyd Money May every time he does something bad, they automatically want to compare him to Mayweather. Well, oh, Mayweather was a businessman. Oh, Mayweather was being strategic, and all of the above. However, when Canelo Alvarez is still in Mayweather moves, trying to do the shoulder roll, and is a poor version of it, but he at least trying, they never give Floyd his props, right? Even though when Floyd Mayweather spanked him and gave him a PhD degree where he failed that night and obviously only graduated with a bachelor's degree, Canelo Alvarez fans still don't want to give Floyd his props. But what we're going to do, we're going to compare the two to make y'all look foolish. Because one thing for sure, Canelo ain't a fool. And you only could fool a fool. So when Canelo Alvarez fights a Murat and y'all Canelo Alvarez fans is defending him, it's because Canelo Alvarez is treating y'all like y'all just a bunch of fools. Like y'all don't know what's the difference between a good fight and a cherry pick. So let's talk about it. Now, other than Berto, because Floyd Mayweather won the fight of the era between him and Pacquiao, and obviously it was a retirement fight at the time, and obviously the Conor McGregor fight was just him robbing the bank, to say the least, because we all know in that fight he made as much money as Canelo Alvarez did for his contract with DAZN. Floyd Mayweather made upward of $350 million. Canelo Alvarez signed with DAZN for 11 fights for 5 years for $360 million. But Floyd Mayweather paid his dues so he could make power moves like that because he spanked Canelo Alvarez himself. So that being said, Floyd Mayweather, before the Conor and Berto fight, where he already paid his dues, you can't name me a Murat in his resume. Even when he became Money May, because let's not talk about his pretty boy stage, because that version of Floyd will violate Canelo Alvarez's resume and show how pathetic it is compared to a Floyd Money May, right? I mean, pretty boy was like the feared Errol Spence or Deontay Wilder or Rigondeaux that had fighters moving up division like Cruz and Mares and them. So that being said, I'm going to do the Canelo Alvarez a favor or two and not compare the pretty boy Floyd to Canelo, because let's not forget, I mean, pretty boy had Sugar Shane avoiding him, blaming it on his tooth. He stalked Oscar De La Hoya and hunted him down and beat him and became Money May. So we're going to compare Canelo to Money May. Now, Money May, I can look through a telescope all day in Money May resume and I will never find him a rat. However, Canelo, on the other hand, he will avoid a Charlo or an Andre and fight a Murat instead. But y'all want to compare him to Floyd? Canelo Alvarez been 15 years pro, and this supposedly his pretty boy stage, and he only fought 3 fighters in their prime, and that's Jacob, Lara, and Troll. And he kind of really lost number 3, Marquez. Spanked him like he's a nobody. Then fought Sugar Shane Mosley, the number 1 welterweight, after knocking out Margarito. Then beat Ortiz when Ortiz beat the undefeated Berto. Then came and beat Cotto. Then came and beat Maidana after he beat my man at the time, Broner, when people thought Broner was the next Floyd, right? And I could go on and on, from Floyd Mayweather spanking Canelo right after he beat Trout to Floyd Mayweather beating Pacquiao, and I could hurt y'all feelings all day. Because it's Money May. It's no comparison. Either way you look at it. I don't care what kind of angles these Canelo fans want to claim they're looking at the situation from. But y'all have to realize that Floyd Mayweather tops Canelo Alvarez when it comes to anything he does. It don't even have to be the resume. It could be the performance. It could be fighting fighters coming off their biggest win. Unlike Canelo, who's looking to fight Smith, Saunders, fighters coming off their worstest performances. Or even just in the ring, how dominant he is. I mean, Floyd Mayweather pretty much dominated everyone he faced except over 1 or 2 fighters, right? However, he still got the W. And if it was a close fight, he will rematch the fighter, unlike Canelo Alvarez did with Lara. Unlike Canelo when he had a close fight with Trout, and even though he pulled it off, I had him winning by 1 round or the knockdown. But regardless of either or, Floyd Mayweather is more dominant. Floyd Mayweather always rematches his opponents. I mean, forget about it. Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo himself, and 1 judge had it as a draw. 2 judges had it close. So let's not focus or talk about the benefits that Canelo Alvarez gets on a day-to-day basis. Because we could go all day. Like I said, when he fought Mayweather, Mayweather was the A side, and Canelo Alvarez had the judges' scorecard in his pocket. So Floyd Mayweather showed how to beat or defeat Canelo Alvarez, even though he has these type of benefits. You have to spank him every single round, and you might get a draw or a split decision. That being said, Canelo Alvarez is looking forward to face a fighter 2 fights ago lost to Rob, who already lost previously, and a couple fights before that lost to Endom, Hassan Endom, no other than the same guy that hardly went 12 rounds with Lemieux. And Lemieux is a good fighter, but come on now. That Hassan Endom beat this guy that Canelo Alvarez is trying to face in Japan. And the zone is talking about if we give Canelo Alvarez the cherry pick he won't, he might give us the fight we want. So Canelo Alvarez is going to have such a tune-up with this guy and then fight a Gennady Golovkin that lost to Deveryachenko and doesn't want to fight Jacob, Andre, Charlo, or none of the real champions? Are you serious? So like I said, every blue moon, Canelo Alvarez will face a legit opponent, and that fight will be either close or a robbery, or Canelo Alvarez hardly wins, and we don't see a rematch or any of the above. So people want to talk about Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It took 5 years to get made. That wasn't Mayweather's fault. That was Pacquiao and Bob Aaron's fault. But the main point is, Canelo Alvarez, it took him 5 years to even negotiate, let alone make a fight with a Charlo or an Andre. At least with a Charlo, according to Oscar De La Hoya. However, some way, somehow, the B-side, Charlo, ended up with Canelo Alvarez strapped without even facing him. And the only translation of that is the fact that he sent him a lowball offer, because if it was a legit offer, he could have told the WBC, hey, listen, y'all can't strip me. I offered him a big-time offer, like Oscar De La Hoya said. And he turned it down. But most likely, the WBC responded by telling him, what big-time offer? You talking about the $2 million or 3 or 4 that he could make facing a fighter like Banks or even a guy like Benavidez? Of course not. You got to at least offer him 25% because he's your mandatory. And that's why he got stripped, really. So that being said, Canelo Alvarez team could use the oldest excuse in the book and talk about, well, we sent him an offer and the train have left. But guess what? The train left with your strap and your pride. So what you gonna do about that? And like I said, every blue moon Canelo Alvarez will face somebody. Hopefully, he will face Andre or Charlo at least in 2020 now. I mean, let's not wait for 2025 when they invent cars that could fly. And then Canelo Alvarez is willing to step up and fight another dangerous opponent. I mean, I think it's fair to say that we all fed up of what Canelo Alvarez is doing because actions speak louder than words. And Canelo Alvarez have his fans looking like a bunch of fools, really. No disrespect. So I'm pretty sure the Canelo Alvarez fans is fed up, as well as the media members and everybody in the boxing game. So I'm looking forward to see the reaction of the Canelo Alvarez fans to him fighting no other than Mayweather, then in September facing the most overhyped fighter of our decade or era, Gennady Golovkin, who's coming off a loss to Deveryachenko, even according to Canelo himself. So, easy back-to-back fights. Till then, though, subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these casual fans. I'll challenge all the Canelo fans that disagree. If you dream about debating with me, you better wake up and apologize and call in to Split Decision Sunday and click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post to go live. And just apologize during the show because it ain't even no debate. Like I said, I want Canelo Alvarez fans to call in and confess and preach on how right the Aki have been. So that being said, appreciate every single one of y'all. I don't say that enough, but I really appreciate everybody that support me and that keep building this empire brick by brick. That being said, peace and we outie. And to be continued on the next episode of Aki, Achi, Ak, TV.